Hi, everybody. It's so good to arrive at this day, Shechianu V'Kiyamanu. Today is March 25th, and every year on March 25th we commemorate the moment where Romumu began. We had our first service ever March 25th, 2006, and we've come a long way since then. In the last 16 years, we went from being a part-time pop-up community, meeting a couple of times a month, to having a moment where we thought we weren't sure we were actually going to become a full-time community. And there was a moment where myself and my then fiance Ariel thought that we were going to move to Aspen, Colorado. And then the remarkable Roman community was formed out of a desire to build something full-time and full service back in 2007, and then we opened officially as a full-time community in 2008. So today's a special day, March 25th, 2006. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember the email that we sent out. I remember the excitement. I remember the postcards that I stood on the corner handing out to people saying, we're going to be doing some really exciting, dynamic prayer and worship and teaching. Such a journey it's been, and like in this week's Torah portion, where Vahi Bayom HaShmini, where the Torah in the book of Leviticus will tell us that it was on the eighth day. The eighth day of what? The eighth day of the consecration of the tabernacle. They spent a week long in celebration and in readying themselves to be able to use the tabernacle, to use that portable sanctuary in the desert. And then on the eighth day, Vahi Bayom HaShmini, Kara Moshe Aaron Levanav L'Zignei Israel. And Moses called out to his brother, his older brother Aaron, and then to Aaron's sons, his lineage, his children, and also to all of the elders of the generation, and said, hey, it's ready. Let's come close. Come close to this space that's been made available to all of us in order to participate. And that sense of excitement over the first day, and then the challenges, of course, on that very first day, the challenges of the tragedy that befell Aaron and his children, all of that is a part of what it is to build a community, what it is to build a world, really, is that we immense tracht and got laughed, meaning we make our efforts, and sometimes our efforts very clearly and obviously are kind of met with success or with what we intended originally. There's a real connection between what we wanted and what we hoped and what we built for and what we see manifest. And sometimes, or I would say most of the time or often, we are met with challenges right away, immediately. There are challenges, things that make it difficult and make us want to turn back and say, this wasn't what we planned, this isn't what we expected. And part of what we do in spiritual community and in our own spiritual practices is come to the place where we work our hardest actually to be prepared for life and to meet life. And we also recognize that sometimes life throws us difficulties and challenges that are that we think we can't make it through, and then we come together again and again and again to try to support one another to meet life. Vahi Bayom HaShmini, it was on the eighth day, Moshe called out to his brother Aaron, who was afraid. It says in the Midrash, Aaron was afraid to take his place. He was embarrassed. He was busha. There was a shame. And the tradition says that Moshe says to him, "Lekach nivcharta." This is for this moment you were chosen. This is the moment. And I think that each and every one of us knows that the experience of trepidation or fear or excitement or a mixture of all those things as we begin to move forward on a plan, or we see a destination that we want to arrive at, and we start, one step at a time. And then the voice inside of us, Moshe says to the voice inside of us, Aaron, it's okay, take one more step. This is it. This is your moment. This is where things will change. This is how you make it happen, one step at a time. One moment of courage, one moment of heroism, one moment of I can do it, and we can do it at a time. That's the way that we build the Mishkan. That's the way that we get back up from being in a place where we didn't think we could get up from again. And so I know that as we enter into the Shabbat of Romu's birthday, as it were, the first moment, I'm deeply grateful to the entire community, people who are with us today and people who have gone in a different path. But I know in my heart and My wife knows, and all of us who have been a part of Romu for many years, we know that each person's contribution has brought us to where we are today, and we couldn't have done it without each and every one of you, and each and every one of you that's opening this and listening. I hope that my words and the words of our tradition are giving you support today, that are holding you in some way that allows you to show up more fully in your life, because that's actually what it's all about. Building the tabernacle one day at a time, building a community one day at a time. L'kach licharta, each of us has been chosen for this moment, this very next moment. And so whatever ways that you can show up more fully in a world that is now extremely, extremely chaotic, extremely tragic in so many ways, we have to keep showing up. L'kach licharnu, that's what we've been chosen to do at this moment, is to show up in all of the small ways and all of the big ways. Happy birthday to this beautiful community, and happy birthday to all of those who are taking a step forward in some direction that, in spite of its challenges, in spite of its sometimes not being exactly what you had hoped it would be, that you keep saying, this is my work, this is my challenge, this is my mishkan to build. Many blessings. Have a good Shabbos, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.